you challenge the system. This is active resistance. Let me give you the example from Gandhi. The first phase of his challenge to the Britishers was non-violent, non-cooperation. That's all. Non-violent. We don't have to harm anybody, kill anybody, to destroy any property, nothing. Non-violent, non-cooperation. Only one thing, we will not wear your cloth. We shall spin ourselves and we shall make our own cloth and wear it. Total boycott of British cloth. That was the first step. Such a big market as India was and still is. All the mills, in England, piling their products. India is not accepting. Then the second stage was non-violent civil disobedience. We are going to the ocean, to the sea. Paramatma, or God, has produced salt in it. And we are going to make salt from the water of the ocean, which belongs to Paramatma, not to anybody. And we are not saying anything to the British government. But there was excise duty on that. So he challenged the whole taxation policy of British India. This was the second stage of his struggle. The third stage didn't come in his life. Why? Because the Second World War broke. And after that, the Britishers were so weak now that they couldn't hold on to their territories. They had to leave. But in jihad fi sabilillah, then final stage can be qital fi sabilillah. You have to fight against those people, the oppressors, who are resisting the establishment of justice, who don't want to establish a just social order. If there is need, you go to war against them. So this is the ninth level of going to war for the cause of Allah. 3 into 3, 9, and 8 stories, they are jihad fi sabilillah only. For 13 years at Makkah, Muhammad was making jihad fi sabilillah. No qital fi sabilillah whatsoever. Rather, the order of the day was to take all persecution without any retaliation. Worst persecutions were given to the companions of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Worst. Torture. Some of them killed. And there were Muslims in Makkah. They could resist, but they were not allowed to resist. It was after Hijrah that Muhammad felt confident. Now I have enough number. Now this is a base for me to launch an offensive. So active resistance is an offensive. I don't agree with those people who say that all the battles that Muhammad fought were in defense. No. Muhammad took the offensive first. Actually, they are the revolutionary people who take the offensive. A society is going on. People have learned to accept tyranny and injustice. But somebody stands and says, it is wrong, this system is wrong. So who has started the conflict? The person who says it is wrong. The conflict at Makkah also was started by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were living in peace. Now what happened? Brother pitched against brother. Son pitched against father. Wife pitched against husband. And now also after the hijrah, he was who took the initiative. I don't want to go into detail, but this theory, because West accused us that Islam was propagated through force, through sword. And we said apologetically, no. All the battles which were fought by Muhammad were in self-defense. No, not at all. It was to establish the deen of Allah. Deen of Allah. Two deens cannot coexist. Either it is the deen of Allah or it is the deen of some king or emperor. Or it is the deen of the public. Popular sovereignty. Two deens cannot coexist. And to establish the political, socio-economic justice given to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the form of deen of Islam, he had to go to war. But nobody was forced to convert to Islam. You can remain Jews, you can remain Christians, Hindus, but you will have to accept the supremacy of the order, the collective order. Deen will be supreme, but as religions, you can profess any religion. Deen will be ours. Our political socio-economic system will prevail. But as religion, you can be Muslims, you can be Jews, you can be Hindus, you can be Sikhs, etc., etc. But Islam has the absolute converse of this. Deen is for Allah. He is the only rightful ruler of this world. Thy kingdom come. The rule of God to be established. His divine law to be enforced. And for this purpose, if you have to go to fight against the emperors, against the oppressors, you have to go to fight, to war. But this only is the qital fi sabilillah. Now let me quote here an example. In the mid-50s, the people of Algeria, Muslims of Algeria, Aljazair, they were fighting against the French. And there was throughout the Muslim world an uproar. It is jihad fi sabilillah, jihad fi sabilillah, jihad fi sabilillah. A deputation came to Pakistan. There were two persons. One, a colonel of the army. He was clean-shaved. And another, a very big alim of Algiers. Allama Bashirul Ibrahimi. Very big, the knowledgeable person. They wanted some funds and some financial support. I was the Amir of JIHAAD at that time in Montgomery, which is now called Sahiwal. We formed a body and collected some amount. And when I heard his speech, so beautiful speech, so passionate about jihad fi sabilillah. But when that jihad became a success, a socialist state was established. How come? If it was jihad fi sabilillah, an Islamic state should have come into force. Means it was not jihad fi sabilillah. It was jihad for freedom. Okay. It is permissible. You are allowed to snatch your rights. Even with force, yes.